this is really what I look like. I know. I look like your yoga teacher and a Hell's Angel ran into each other and became one man. Namaste, motherfuckers. I know. Well, happy to be here. We can perform again. Yeah, after Corona crisis. Holy shit, what the fuck was that? But I miss it, though. I miss Corona crisis. I miss it. Because it was simple. It was a simpler world back then. Old fat guys with asthma are dying. Simple. Let's all stay inside to save the fat guys with asthma. Because we need it. I don't know what for, but we need it. Because it makes squeaky sounds when they run. I don't know why. Well, let's do this. It was a simpler way. It made me really poor, though. It made me really, because I had to stop performing immediately. The government called me up and they said, Jeroen, you have to stop doing what you're doing immediately. Stop doing. You have to stop before. Stop doing what you're doing. I will give him a few seconds to regroup. This is how simple my job is. Well, the government called me up and they said, you have to stop doing what you're doing before you kill thousands and thousands of people. First I said, well, thank you, but I think you are overestimating me. If I could kill 10 people, I would be very happy. But I miss it, and I think, because, during Corona, I did whatever the fuck they told me. I stayed inside, and I wore the mask, but I just did it to stay out of trouble. That's what some people, are you wearing the mask because you want to protect my elderly mother? No! I don't give a shit about your mother. And I never did. And the virus did not change that. Fuck your mother. I don't care. We make too much of thing out of dying. It's we all die. We all die. I can predict all of your futures. You are going to be here for a little while, and then you will die. You will die. Maybe you will die today. It's true, it could happen today, but we don't like to think about it that way. We think, I know I'm going to die, but not now. That's how we think about it. But you know what it is? The moment you die will always be now. It will be now, then. It's probably the last thing you'll think. Now? Yeah, now. And it's never a bad thing when people die, because we are supposed to die. It's never a bad thing. But we make a big thing, like you don't want to die a certain way, or in big groups. It's a thing. If a big group dies, it's a bigger thing. It's like when a plane crashes in the Himalayas or whatever the fuck. People go like, that's bad, right? The plane crashed and everybody died. I'm like, no! Because they are supposed to die. Everybody's supposed to die. They're supposed to die. They died. But you know that they weren't supposed to die like that. Obviously, like that. That's precisely how they died. And it's awesome. It's awesome because they got to die in an airplane crash. And that's fucking awesome. Who gets to experience that? It's the best way to die. It's in an airplane crash. Most people just die in a bed like, They got to die in a crash, in an airplane crash in the mountains. That's awesome. I hope they didn't fuck it up. If you're ever in an airplane and it flies over the Himalayas and it goes down like, don't crawl back in the tail hoping to survive it. Run into the cockpit and stand in front of the windshield and go like Himalaya, Himalaya, Himalaya. It's your final 3 seconds. Make them count. You know, if the plane is going down too fast, you know you're going to die. You don't have to panic. Just sit down and relax. Just sit down and feel it. Live it. Tell the people around you, just calm down. Calm down, sit down. Just sit down. We're all dying. Sit down. You don't have to buckle up. Fuck the rules. Have a free whiskey. Is it free? Now it's for free. It's a free. It just became free. And smoke. 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 If you don't smoke, start smoking. What will happen to you? You will not develop cancer between here and the Himalayas. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that fast. We make too big a fuss out of dying, man. I miss Corona because it was simple. And, you know, it made me hopeful. Because for the first time in the history of the world, entire humanity worked together. 8 billion people worked together on one goal. So I figured, there's nothing we can't solve because we can work together with everybody. Corona was over and the world was a shittier place than before. Holy shit! I really miss it. First thing that happened after Corona crisis was abortion. The clock was turned back in the United States on abortion. I was like, what the fuck? We don't need less abortions. We need more. Way more. Look around. The world is more fun with less people. How the fuck did we fuck up that? You know what? The thing that bugs me the most about the entire thing, the abortion debate in the United States, is that pro-life won the debate. They won it. And we lost it. Okay. So I figured, how did they win? Like, I read into it, and I was hoping to find a very diverse set of people with a very diverse set of arguments. But it's not. It's just one sort of people with one set of arguments. It's, first of all, it's very, very religious people. Very religious, which means that they're stupid. And they have one big fear. One. You would think 5. It's 1. They are afraid that if abortion becomes legal, this is really what they're afraid of, literally. That everybody would be having them all the time. That's a weird fear. That you think that everybody would be having them all the time. Like, who do you have in mind? Which crazy lady do you have in your group of friends that if you would tell her that abortion is legal, she would go like, it's legal? Then I want to have one. we go like, chill down, chill down, Suzanne. You're not even pregnant. And she was like, fuck it. I just love that shit. I think the prettiest feeling is a vacuum cleaner up my pussy. There's 0 ladies like that in the entire world. And if you know somebody like that, we should give her all the abortions you want to have, right? Because you don't want her to have kids. You know, it's just she's an argument pro, not against. But how the fuck did we lose that debate, you know? Because pro-life, they made us believe they're just two camps. That they polarized the entire debate. There are two camps, there's them, and there's pro-choice. And they are opposed to each other. That's what they want to make us believe. But that can't be true because pro-choice is a nuanced party. They say abortion should be an option you could discuss or debate, think about, and do it. But pro-life says you should never do it. Never. Nobody, never, nowhere. That's not the opposition of a nuanced standpoint, you know. The opposition of pro-life would be a group of people who think everybody should get aborted all the time. But you don't hear those people too much because they live in China. It's China. It's China's government. China. It's crazy, it's crazy. They're shredding babies as we speak. Just to make cement out of them. It's fucking insane. And the second thing that happened was Russia invading Ukraine. It's the second thing that happened right after Corona crisis. I was like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? We had the news bulletins, and they said, well, the Russian army is collecting in front of the Ukrainian border. And I was like, nah. And then he did. Holy shit. And Europe did nothing. We just sat there. Our neighboring country was attacked by a huge army, and our reaction was this. Ooh. Of course, we don't want to start World War III right away, but Zelensky, we could have done more, you know. Zelensky called us all up, and he asked, could you do more? Could you use less gas so you would not fund Putin's war? Can you do like you did for 2 years during Corona crisis? Work together and use less gas so you would not fund his war. And we answered that question with, you know what it is, Zelensky? This is the thing. We really like the feeling of hot showers. It's very important to us. We could do more as a people, you know. I've been showering cold since the war. I'm not using hot water anymore because Putin is getting 0 fucking rubles out of my shower. Yeah. This is how I've been showering for more than a year. Woo! Woo! And I've got a picture of Putin in my shower to heat myself up with hate again. So this is how I shower. Woo! Woo! Fuck you, fucking fuck! Woo! Fuck you, fucking fuck! And men know how hard it is to jack off under a cold, cold shower. But I do it for Ukraine. Yeah, thank you very much. And I confuse my kids in the process. They're like, Daddy, what are you doing? We're at war! Right, people, as your Leenders, you can follow me on socials, everybody you want. Thank you very much. Cheerio!